This is part 2 of the orientation for the online section of Beginning Algebra. In this video, I will be going over how to register in MyMathLab and the different components in MyMathLab. To register for this course in MyMathLab, follow the MyMathLab registration instructions handout that I posted in D2L. Your registration handout will look very similar to the one that you see on the screen. But the one that I show on the screen is a generic one, and the one specific to your course you will find in D2L. The first step to registering is to go to, right here, www.pearsonmylabandmastering.com. So what you'll need to do is go into your browser and type in that website. Now when you do that, my suggestion is that you use either Firefox or Google Chrome as your browser. Internet Explorer tends to have the most difficulty. So I'm going to use Firefox. Up here I'll type in www.pearsonmylabandmastering.com and it'll bring me to this page right here. Step number 2 says under Register, select Student. So down here I will select Student. Step 3 says confirm you have the information needed, and the 3 things that you need are an email address, the course ID, and access code. And as long as you have an email address, you should be good to go here. So I'll put OK, register now. As far as the course ID, yours may be different than what I'm typing in right now here. Yours is what is found on your handout. After I've typed in the course ID, it will bring me to this page where it asks me to register. Now you have one of 2 options. If you have used MyMathLab, MyReadingLab, something like that before, a Pearson product, then go ahead and use your Pearson account and sign in there. If you have never used one of these types of applications before, create a Pearson account at this time. If you have to create a new Pearson account, it'll ask you for your email address. When you use your email address, I suggest that you use your personal email address, the one that you check most often. It does not need to be your Hennepin Tech email address, because when I do send out emails, they'll want to be something that you check frequently. I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead on the left-hand side and sign in with my Pearson account. Okay, so we have now covered steps 3, 4, and 5. We are down to step 6, where it's asking us to select an access option. So you should be at this page now. And on this page it gives you a couple options here. One is use an access code. So if you have an access code that you've already purchased at the bookstore, you can go ahead and type that in here. Otherwise, another option is to use your credit card and pay for the access code right now. Now one thing I do want to say is the access code price will vary anywhere between $80 and $120. If you buy it at the bookstore, I believe it is $120 down there. As you can see, if you buy it directly from this website, it's $95, and there are other sites that you can look at, such as Amazon, and I think you can even get it a little cheaper there. But for all of you, my recommendation is not to use either of these the first time through, but to go ahead and get temporary access without payment for 14 days. So push on that one. So yes, I'm going to say I am sure that I want temporary access. This will give me 14 days to determine whether or not I like the course, whether or not this type of course is going to work for me, and also if I need to get the funds, it'll give me some time to get that too. So it looks like it's loading the course at this time. And so now I'm going to go to my course. I pushed on the course and it brought me into my course here. One of the other first things that you need to do when you start with MyMathLab is run the browser check. I am not going to do that right now, but take the time and run the browser check to make sure that on your computer everything is up to date. So now at this time you should be registered for the course in MyMathLab. Once you get into your course, on the left-hand side you will see there's these various tabs, and I'm going to cover those different components. The first is the course home page, which is this page right here. On this page, any announcements are put up here, along with the progress of how you're doing in each different section, the homework, the quizzes, the test, and the notebook checks. You can ignore this one on the study plan. That's something that's completely optional if you want to put in extra time into that. Second item on the left here are the course documents. You can see that there's an arrow on the right. If you push on that arrow, it'll expand it and show you the couple different things that are under the documents. One of them is document sharing, the other one is email, and then the ebook. Mainly what I use this for is the document sharing, so push on that. In document sharing, there are a few different items here, different categories. The first one is the general category, and under that category is where you can get an extra copy of the schedule and the syllabus. Next, they have the chapter notes and completed chapter notes. So there's a blank copy of the chapter notes and then one that has the completed notes on it. The test reviews can be found under this document sharing. And then one of the things that you'll need to use from the very beginning is the weekly checklist. So I'm going to go to that first. When you go to weekly checklist, the checklists will be listed down here. First of all, I have week 1 checklist in here. So you can go ahead and push on that. And that'll give you a copy of the checklist that you can follow, giving you what to do each week. So all of these items can be found under document sharing. Like I said, checklist, test reviews, and then the different chapter notes. If you'd like to, you can download those and print them off on your own computer. I'm going to go back to the main menu now. Next thing is the homework. The homework is where you will go to do the homework assignments that are due each week. So I'm going to show you what a homework assignment would look like. First item is how to enter answers video. If you have not used MyMathLab before, I would suggest that you watch the how to enter answers video, because it shows you how to use the different pieces in MyMathLab. I'm going to move on to a different assignment though. Let me pick this one, 1.6 to 1.9. This will show you how each assignment looks. There are various questions here for you to answer. In this one there are 25 questions. Typically you would just start with number 1 and work your way on through. If ever you need to stop with an assignment, you can always stop and pick it back up at another time, and all of them that you had correct or incorrect will still be there. So I want to pick one of the problems. How about question 10? Okay, so here is one problem where they're asking you to use the distributive property to remove the parentheses, and then go ahead and combine like terms. In this box right here is where you'll type in your answer. If you type in an incorrect answer, I'm going to type in something right now. So you type in an answer right here. I just put a negative there right now because my keyboard is not working with the headset plugged in. But then push check answer. If you got the answer correct, it'll say correct, wow, good job, something like that. If it's not correct, it'll tell you sorry, it's not correct, and it'll give you some sort of suggestion. You will have the option to do the problem 3 times. After 3 times, it will look like it marks it completely wrong, but you can push similar problem, and it'll give you a similar problem to do, and you can do it another time. If you are ever stuck on some problems, there are options over here, such as help me solve this, where they can walk you through a problem, kind of giving you some hints along the way. View an example is another one. Textbook will open the textbook to the section where this material is covered in the textbook. If you've tried all of those things and still confused by the problem, you can go to Ask My Instructor. And if ever you want to print off the problem and work on it at some other location, you can do that. Okay, so that is how the homework will work. Next item over here are the quizzes. Quizzes is where you'd go to do your weekly quizzes. And kind of the same idea there. You push on quizzes and it'll have the quizzes available for you to do. Here's quiz 1, do quiz 1, and the details of all of that are explained in your syllabus as to the attempts that you have and such. One of the things I really like MyMathLab for is there are various options that you can use to help you study for this course and understand the material in this course. So Multimedia Library is something that I think many of you should and will want to use. The Multimedia Library is where we have the Multimedia Textbook, which is the textbook plus. Inside the textbook, there are videos, there are questions that they will ask you along the way to help you understand some of the material. In addition to the multimedia textbook, there are videos, animations, PowerPoints, chapter test prep videos, and section lectures. So I showed you the notes earlier, but some people would prefer to just read the book themselves or watch a video lecture. So as you're learning the material or going through the material each week, here are various options that you can use. I'm going to go to chapter 1 here, and let's say I select all, and you can narrow this down if you'd like, different chapter, different sections, or just specific items. But what this gives me down here gives me various animations for topics, a chapter test prep video, the multimedia textbook for all the different sections within chapter 1, PowerPoints, videos, and sectioned video lectures for each section. I'd like to show you the multimedia textbook on adding real numbers. Here is the textbook, and this is section 1.1. You can see when I get to section 1.1, not only does it have the textbook, exactly what is written inside the textbook, but along the side there are video cameras where you can watch the whole video for section 1.1. So my suggestion for you is to use this. So first of all, go to the book and kind of skim through it. If there are some sections that you're confused by, use the video. As you go down here, there's this cone that's cut where it says you try it. What this is this is an example for you to try on your own. It looks just like the MyMathLab homework, and it gives you an option for you to try it on your own and do a practice problem before you go to the homework. If you want to turn the pages, you can go to the pages up here. You can highlight things. You can post different notes if you would like. And so that is what the multimedia textbook looks like. Just a couple last things that I'd like to show you. One is tutoring. Remember, if you're having difficulty in the subject, yes, there are lots of resources here that you can use in MyMathLab, but we also have resources at school, such as the Centers for Student Achievement. So if you want to use one of the centers, but you forgot what their phone number is or what their hours are, you can go to Centers for Student Achievement, and I have it linked right here, so it'll bring you right to the page. And scan down, and it'll tell you the Learning Resource Center, math centers, writing centers, their room numbers, and the hours that they are open. And the last thing you'll use over here is the grade book. The grade book is where you can go to see your current status as far as your grade. So when I correct tests, quizzes will all be loaded into the grade book. As far as the homework, you do not need to send anything to me. I can directly see your homework in MyMathLab. Before I finish today, I do want to go over a couple pieces that if you're having difficulty with the technology, if something in MyMathLab does not seem to be working correctly, what you'll want to do is get a hold of the Pearson MyMathLab help. One way to do that is to go up to the question mark here, and it's called Help and Support. Under Help and Support, you can look for your own help if you would like, and sometimes you can search a question and it can help you find the answer to that. Otherwise, there's 24/7 technical support, and what you can do there is you can get a phone number to call, or you can have an online chat with them. If you have not even made it into your page though, I do want to go back to the very beginning page. I'm just going to do that right here. So if you are in the login page and it's not even allowing you to log in, there is a 24/7 help from here too, and what you do is you just scroll down to the bottom, and on the left hand side it talks about support, and you can go to student support, and from there get to the 24/7 support. So I think this shows you all the ins and outs that you need of MyMathLab. Please let me know if you have any questions, and you can email me and I can answer those. Otherwise, you should be ready to begin your course.